Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're doing something, well, a little bit different. Usually when we scroll through social media, we get the polished final product, right? The slick images, the seamless videos, the endless feed. But right now, we're going to perform a microanalysis on a single, raw, scraped page of data from Facebook. We're literally looking at the digital skeleton of a single moment on the internet to see exactly what lies beneath the surface. We're stripping away the fancy graphics and looking strictly at the raw text artifact left behind. It's basically digital archaeology, and honestly, what we find when we dig into this specific artifact is incredibly revealing. Let's get right into it.
So our artifact begins and ends with the mundane, the sterile, the repetitive infrastructure of the platform itself. You know the drill. Log in, email or phone number, password, forgot account, and create new account. These are the gatekeepers. It's the digital wrapper that surrounds literally almost every interaction we have online. It's completely robotic, just a standardized prompt demanding your credentials before it even lets you in the door. When you look at the raw scrape of this page, these prompts are scattered at the very top and the very bottom of the data. They're just this cold, mechanical framework of the Facebook platform, completely and totally indifferent to what's actually happening inside of it.
But then, right in the middle of this standardized digital wrapper, bam, we hit a wall. The scrape reveals this exact text. Sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. Sure, there's a link to learn more, but the core message here, it's all about technical friction. The system glitched. The media that was supposed to be delivered to the viewer just completely failed to load. So that robust infrastructure we were just talking about, the one asking for your password and email, is actually broken in this specific instance. And this glitch establishes a really clear theme of brokenness right in the center of our digital artifact. Actually, it kind of perfectly foreshadows the content we're about to uncover. The machine is failing to deliver the visual, but the raw text, the underlying data, is still just sitting there, waiting to be read.
Which brings us to a super compelling crossroads. What happens when the video doesn't play? Seriously, what remains when the platform itself fails? I want you to really think about that for a second. When the slick interface breaks down and all those visuals just disappear into a generic error message, what human element survives underneath that broken video link and standard UI text? We so often think the video is the content, but in this scraped artifact, the video is dead, yet. The page isn't empty. There's a human voice still echoing in the raw data, completely trapped between those login prompts and the video error messages. So let's uncover who's actually speaking here.
Because, behind every data scrape, there is a user. In this case, the author identified in the text is Ojale Damilare. This solitary human presence is sitting right there on the page, attempting to utilize this massive global platform. And we can see exactly how they're trying to broadcast their message. The visibility is set to public, and it's categorized under Reels, meaning this isn't just some private message to a buddy. This user stepped right up to the digital megaphone, aiming for a massive public audience through a video format, hoping to be seen by the world. But as we know from that previous text, the visual part of that reel is currently just a broken link.
Okay, so here is the exact text attached to that broken reel, perfectly preserved in the scrape. Let's read it exactly as it appears, completely raw and unedited. If we have to save our almost dead democracy, EMB Electoral Management Board must just reject the Electoral Act and do the right thing. Wow, there is an intense, palpable urgency here. Notice the spelling, S-A-F-E instead of S-A-V-E. Notice the total lack of punctuation. Now, obviously, we aren't here to take any kind of political side on this issue, but we absolutely have to observe the raw authenticity of this artifact. It is a desperate, highly charged political plea about a democracy that the user perceives as almost dead. It's pretty striking, right? To see this level of raw human urgency just sitting smack in the middle of a cold data scrape.
To really grasp this artifact, we need to unpack the specific language being used. The user actually helpfully defines their own acronym right in the middle of their urgent plea. EMB stands for Electoral Management Board. This ensures that anyone reading this, even us, just digging through the raw scraped text, clearly understands the specific institutional target of the message. The user isn't just, shouting vaguely into the void. They have a very specific demand for a specific bureaucratic entity regarding an electoral act. They are demanding institutional action to, in their own words, do the right thing.
This whole artifact captures a truly staggering contrast. Just think about it. On one side, we have the machinery, forgot password, log in. It's totally robotic, it's sterile, it's literally just a corporation managing its database. But then on the other side, trapped inside that exact same digital framework, we have this very human cry, save our almost dead democracy. The juxtaposition here is incredible. You have the ultimate mundane reality of forgetting your internet password placed directly against an existential panic about the survival of a nation's government. This single-page scrape captures the bizarre, wild reality of the modern internet. It shows how we just casually place the most emotionally charged, life-or-death political rhetoric right next to the coldest, most indifferent technical prompts imaginable.
But as we dig a little deeper into the metadata, we find a detail that adds a really profound layer of isolation to all of this. 3. According to the raw text, this public reel, this desperate, urgent plea to save a dying democracy, has exactly 3 views. 3. The platform has billions of users, the visibility is set to public, the message is incredibly urgent, and yet the reach is almost non-existent. It really emphasizes the deep, isolating quietness of the internet that we honestly rarely talk about. We're so used to seeing things that have gone mega viral, stuff with millions of views, but this artifact, it shows the reality for most users. A solitary, urgent political plea echoing in a vast, empty digital ocean seen by almost no one.
And that brings us to the final piece of our digital artifact. The user attached a single tag to their message, #electoral reform. It's this earnest attempt to categorize a tiny 3-view plea into a much larger global conversation. It's like a digital flare sent up into the night sky. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to chew on. We've seen the cold platform prompts, the broken video glitch, the impassioned plea, and the deafening silence of just 3 views. When you're scrolling through your own feeds today, ask yourself, how much passionate, desperate human discourse is quietly coexisting right alongside mundane platform glitches and forgotten passwords, just waiting to be uncovered? Thank you so much for joining me to explore the anatomy of this digital artifact. Keep questioning what's beneath the surface, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.